Hey guys, Duke here, and today we are going to talk about how to solo the master version of the Perdition Lost Sector on Europa. For this Lost Sector, there are a number of things to look out for. First on the list are the Barrier and Overload champions. I chose to deal with the anti-barrier champions with the last Perdition Pulse Rifle. I think it just makes sense to use the last Perdition in the Perdition Lost Sector, right? For Overload, I chose to use the Duskfield Grenade on the Stasis subclass, along with Thermal Overload, as Thermal Overload allows stasis grenades, as well as solar if you so choose, to disrupt Overload champions. I also paired this with Surge Eater, which gives you your grenade back anytime you disrupt a champion, for the ability to continuously keep the Overload champions disrupted. I personally like stasis and the accompanying Duskfield Grenade, due to the fact that A, it is something you can get on all classes, and therefore is a good example to show no matter if you are a Warlock, Titan, or Hunter, and B, especially when combined with the Whisper of Durant's Fragment, the Duskfield Grenade lasts an incredibly long time, and is also large enough to be much easier to hit than some of the other grenades. Although, as I mentioned in my previous video, even with this grenade, I managed to miss quite a few times, so anything to make landing my grenades easier, the better. As I've mentioned in every Lost Sector video, I am also running Protective Light for the extra survivability. As a reminder, Protective Light allows you to take 50% damage reduction for 6 seconds when your health goes red, assuming you have 1 stack of Charge with Light. For this Lost Sector, I am actually running Shield Break Charge as my way to become Charge with Light. This mod allows you to gain a stack of Charge with Light anytime you break a shield with the proper weapon damage. As there is an abundant amount of arc shielded harpies in this Lost Sector, it is a super easy way to get yourself Charged with Light. The two elemental shield types in this Lost Sector are Arc, as already mentioned, and Void. Therefore, my weapon loadout that I chose to run was a Long Shadow for safety and range in my kinetic slot, a Void Pulse, Last Perdition, in my energy slot to break the Void Minotaur shields, as well as be my anti-barrier option, and Anarchy as my heavy for breaking the arc shields, as well as a simple DPS tool for both the champions, as well as the boss at the end. In the first area of the Lost Sector, there will be a bunch of Harpies and a Hydra. I would suggest trying to get 2 Anarchy shots on the Hydra as soon as possible to get him to teleport back into the next room so you can focus on killing the Harpies. If you are using Anarchy as your arc choice like me, note that Anarchy does not stick to shields but instead bounces off of them, so you need to shoot your Anarchy shots underneath the Harpies in order to break the shields and kill them. As you move forward, there will be a Void Minotaur that starts to push you, so make sure to pull out your Void weapon of choice to take it down. Also, if you push forward even further, there will be an Overload Minotaur, some more Harpies, and a couple of Sniper Hobgoblins. I would suggest getting the Overload to push you a bit in a position where the snipers cannot see you, and then focusing on the Overload until it is dead. Then you can push forward and take care of the remaining enemies in this room. The second room is going to be the most tricky part of this Lost Sector. When you first head up the staircase, there will be a few Goblins and an Overload Minotaur waiting for you. Pulling the Overload Minotaur down the staircase a bit, so you can focus on it without any other enemies shooting you, can make dealing with it a lot easier. Once these enemies are dead, move forward just a bit to spawn in the next set of enemies. Here you will have a bunch of relatively easy to kill red bar enemies, a Void Minotaur, the anti-barrier Hobgoblins, and the Hydra if you have not dealt with it yet. If the Hydra gets an angle on you, it is absolutely your top priority to kill. The anti-barriers should stay far enough back to deal with most everything else first, without even having to worry about them much at all. Run forward one more time to spawn in the Wyverns. There will be 2 Wyverns, so if possible taking them on one at a time and using the staircase as cover, and running back if you need to while tagging them with Anarchy should make pretty short work of them. Just be very, very careful though, as they absolutely pack a punch. All that should be left in this room at this point are a few red bar enemies and the anti-barrier Hobgoblins. The one suggestion I would have when taking on the Hobgoblins is try to stand in a spot where only one of them can see you at a time. They have splash damage guns, so even if you're behind some cover, trying to take on one while another is hitting you with splash damage will not be a fun time. Oh, and you might want to actually remember to put the anti-barrier mod on your gloves. Sorry guys, I think we had a little bit of a lag there. Anyways, as I was saying, try to take on each Hobgoblin one at a time until they are both defeated. This will allow you into the final boss room. This room is actually quite simple, with staying back and just trying to tag the boss with anarchy as you can being the main strat. I also throw some anarchy shots into the mass amount of harpies as needed. Note that there are 2 anti-barrier hobgoblins that spawn in when the boss gets lower HP here, but you do not need to kill them in order to kill the boss and finish the Lost Sector. If you do want to take them down though, I would suggest using a similar strat as the previous room, where you focus one at a time using the same area I'm using for the rest of this room behind the box. Once you run forward and pick up your loot, that is the Master Perdition Lost Sector completed. I sincerely hope this helps some of you guys who have mentioned to me that this Lost Sector in particular has been a struggle for you on both Legendary and Master difficulties. If you enjoyed this video and want to help support the channel, leave a comment below, and a like on the video and a sub if you are new is extremely appreciated. And as always, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.